Hello everybody and welcome back to Benjamin Magnus and Bundeswehr Bob play Hearts of Iron 3. Last episode, Bob's Italian divisions moved up along the joint border and moved south into the Caucasus. They are traversing mountain ranges, rather large ones, so it is slow going. And there seems to be a completely open highway from Bobland to Stalingrad.
Yeah, it's just a matter of just walking over there, really.
Just driving, you know, whatever the best Italian truck is to the region. And I'm on the outskirts of Moscow, actually. I've won the battles for the actual outlying areas. I'm about to assault the city.
Oh, I'm working on it as fast as I can, really. Because my advance is a little bit messy right now. I'm trying to make sure that we proceed in an orderly fashion out here.
Order must be maintained.
Well, pretty much. I mean, it's just in making sure, because I mean, I could advance just like I could just hurl everybody at Stalingrad, but I have a feeling that would be detrimental on that. I would have all these kind of really sporadic small units suddenly cutting me off in a lot of ways I don't want to, and then that's how like a bajillion Italians would die.
Oh so, boy, you haven't seen my Stalingrad episodes then. Because I saw an open road to Stalingrad. I think 2 or 3 times I've done it, where I've seen an open road to Stalingrad and just went forward, and then they ended up getting cut off.
Well, I'll take caution, you know, for this go round, I think, and you know, be more nuts at a later time. In fact, I'm gonna move more of these units over, I think, to the west side of Italy, just because there's so many of them over here. I don't need this many Italian divisions hanging out over here for this advance. Just because there's so few Soviet divisions over here, yeah, my advance is going to be pretty easy.
Well, it seems like most of them are dogpiled in and around Moscow, which makes sense.
There's a lot of little green arrows for the Soviet Union, that's for sure, and all their little divisions that are running around. Well,
considering their front lines completely, not even like cracked, just absolutely shattered.
Mm-hmm.
Their borders are, I mean, in the north, like in the very north, it's kind of like the very south. There's basically no one in the way of me just marching through Soviet territory.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, I don't think that it's going to end at the Battle of Moscow. I think it might get close, but I don't think that'll be the end-all, be-all of the Soviet campaign.
Oh, what's their surrender progress? So they're at 64.3% surrender progress right now.
64. I think it'll get them up into the 90s.
Okay, so if that's true, then I really need to make a push for taking the rest of the Caucasus, because this is your war. So this is going to be, you know, you're going to get the territory. And I really need some of the resources that are around here. So I need to make a push.
How is that going to work in terms of war goals? So if you go to the Soviet Union, can you add a war goal to the Soviet Union? In the Diplo
add war goal. Yes. Acquire territory.
Acquire territory.
Caucasus region.
In Caucasus region.
Acquire.
Once a month in Hoi, you have to game the CBs in Hoi 3. Well, you don't have to, but it works better if you do. Once a month, you can add another war goal. Anything you put acquire territory on becomes de jure your land.
Okay.
Anything you captured that was not on the acquired territory CB list is occupied territory. Occupied territory has resistance. De jure land does not.
I see. I gotcha. God, Bob can into Hoi 3 conquest.
You have to game it. You have to figure out what it's doing and work around it, basically. So, like for me, that's just something I naturally do now because I remembered to do it. So every once in a while, I'll check the Diplo screen and make sure I can add a war goal, and then add a war goal to some Soviet territory that looks like it makes sense. And every once in a while, I'll be like, oh, why don't we take Eastern Siberia?
So why not, right?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Let's go and move you there. Let's pretend like we're moving the front forward.
I would hope so.
Actually, you're going to move
German
there.
panzers are just like, go, just keep driving. Gonna run out of gas? Eventually. Are my carriers ready to go? They are ready to go. I don't know where the British fleet is, but they're not out here.
Well, I don't think they're anywhere of consequence for me. I mean, they can't even get into the Mediterranean.
I'm sicking the fuck out of their convoys. Well, I'm pretty sure you could see it if you pop on naval map mode, then like go look at England.
Naval map mode.
Every green circle is a ship is a convoy engaged.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All the convoys are getting engaged.
Yeah. And I just now the carriers are out. But yeah, I guess I'll have them You know, why don't we do this? Have them patrol. Have them patrol over here. Just to see. I don't want them doing anything crazy. Actually, are we making progress on the strategery? Where's the strategery impacts?
That HQ unit from Japan is still just sitting in Novorossiysk.
But it's a cool place to be, especially if you're Japanese, apparently.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be there. I'm just saying that they are there. Wait a minute, did this HQ unit not?
Yes, we are upgrading our 3s to 4s. I like it.
Oh man.
Well, it's clearly incrementally one better. All right, so the troops are on the outskirts of Moscow.
Are you gonna take it to them?
I'm going to take it to them. As soon as they are rested and recouped and ready for another attack, we are going to attack Moscow.
You gonna surround it first, or
just gonna? I don't necessarily feel that's necessary. I'm just going to if they put up a fight, maybe I will.
How little you think of the Soviets?
At this point, considering they're in like full shattered retreat mode, I've got like a whole fresh infantry corps moving up into the region.
Ben just does not think that the Soviets are worth it.
Sergey, get on it.
Rude. You know what I really enjoy about Sergey is the fact that he does kind of acknowledge a lot of stereotypes.
Yes, he does.
And then immediately plays them out.
Yep. That's why I like playing with him, because he's like the most stereotype. He's like a walking Russian stereotype and just so proud of it. I love it.
Well, I don't know if he is the stereotype for a lot of things.
No, he plays it out.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, Battle of Moscow has begun. The 98th and the 143rd Infantry Divisions have begun the attack on Moscow.
Oh man.
And soon they are to be joined by the 9th and the 50th Infantry Divisions. So why don't we just queue that attack order up?
I wish I could look at your battles.
Yeah, I know. That would be nice.
Because that is something you can do in Hoi 4, is that you can't actually look at... Or wait, no. Can you?
I think if they're allied, you can.
No, that you can't, actually. It's only if you're involved in the battle you can look at it, I think. I'd have to go check it, but...
Get on that, Paradox.
Well, I'm not lamenting it just because it's not in Hoi, 4, so I... Or it's not in Hoi 3 either.
Your features are bad, and you should feel bad.
I actually have been having a lot of fun with my Japan campaign in Hoi 4, though.
Japan's a really fun playthrough, in this too, just because it's so different.
Is there a region map mode? Yes, there is.
There is a region map mode.
Well, kinda. I mean, I want to know...
Oh, like which region is which Russia. In terms of adding war goals?
Yeah, so this is the Caucasus. This is going to be... the Crimean Peninsula. Okay. Because I need to know what to add. Like, if I want to make sure I'm getting all this territory that I have currently occupied.
Yes.
And then, like, the Caucasus, and then, like, what's this up here? Central Western Russia. Stalingrad region. Whatever. I'll figure it out.
We'll create some border gore.
We'll try our hardest, damn it. Let's see if we can do an encirclement maybe around here. I think we'll get an encirclement on one of these little mountain divisions out here and then crush them. And then there'll be like nothing stopping me.
Yep, go for it.
Can't stop me.
Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na.
That's Can't Touch This.
Well, yeah, that's true. My music hits me so hard. Makes me
Gee.
Why do I know the lyrics to that song?
Which song?
Can't Touch This.
Well, it's a pretty catchy tune.
Yeah, well, you know, everybody knows the Can't Touch This part. I actually know the other lyrics.
Oh.
The non-chorus lyrics. I don't know why, but I do. I don't know why or where. I don't remember where I picked them up, but I know them.
God, you HQ units are slow, and you should feel bad about it.
Yeah, they are. Also, sometimes I forget they're there and just... oh god, the whole army... Oh, Jesus, the armies are outrunning the, like, army group levels now. But we're almost done. I'm not gonna bother with that. We're almost done. The 9th and the 50th Infantry Division are flanking Moscow from the north.
The fools from Sweden have canceled our trade agreement. Those fools.
Fools!
Fools.
Actually starting to run into some supply problems in a couple areas, but not huge yet. Thankfully. Did you see, I don't know if you saw, but Paradox put out a, it was like, I think they call it like Then and Now. It was an in-depth, well not in-depth, but like an overview of the supply system in all 4 Hoi games. Came out like a week ago or something like that, and they just explained how the supply system works in every single game, and I think that made me a little salty.
I didn't see it, no.
Well, it was like, basically it was like, oh, Hoi 1, you make supplies, and that's that. And then in Hoi 2 is like, we made it more complicated, and that, you know, supplies actually have to move to the fronts. And then in Hoi 3, it's supply system. It's like a full-fledged supply system with nuances and choke points and bottlenecks, and you know, and time involved. You know, they move one province to the next, and it's not instantaneous. So it's like this huge full-fledged system. And then it's like in Hoi 4, supplies are there, kind of.
Well, as long as you have a continuous path to wherever it is that you're trying to fight to, you got them.
Yeah,
is what it seems like. So.
Well, it's basically, you know, you create a unit and they make, and it comes pre-built with every single bit of supplies and fuel and food and spare parts that particular unit will ever need for its entire, you know, history of existence.
Yeah.
But it seemed very odd to me because like they have it late, like, they wrote this thing and where it's layered out. It's like simple, slightly harder, slightly more complicated. Bare minimum. It progresses from one to the next, and then goes completely in the opposite direction. So I built those aircraft carriers, and nobody's there. The home fleet just won't come out and play.
The British fleet?
Yeah, they won't. They don't. I want to play, and they don't want to.
I wonder if they got trapped somewhere, maybe.
Well, you know what? I'm going to start moving my bombers. It
wouldn't surprise me if the Japanese were engaging the British fleet.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. Actually, we can check that.
How do we? Just naval map mode again?
No, what I'm gonna go to the ledger. And
oh snap! The ledger. Where's the ledger?
Third button or second button from the right, next to the little bomber icon on the top.
On the top. Aha. What am I looking for? Overview.
Let's see. Planes, brigade stats, ship stats. Well, let's go to overview. I think it's near the naval units area. This is the most like in-depth ledger ever. Army leaders, plane stats, ship stats. That's not what I want. Brigade stats, plane, ships. That's my ships. Politicians, convoys. Strategic resources, resource flow, buildings, controlled provinces. Ships sunk. Sort by owner. Okay, so the United Kingdom. So I got a list of the UK ships that were sunk. And cruiser sunk by Japan. Battle cruiser sunk by Japan. Battle cruiser sunk by Japan. Battleship sunk by well no sinker type. Ship type. Here we go. Okay, I'm looking at that wrong. All right, so troop transports, cruisers, destroyers. Where are their heavies? Submarines. Battleship sunk by Italy. Battleship sunk by Germany. Japan sunk a lot of troop transports, battle cruisers, the Renown. Hey, how... let's see. Repulse and Resolution were sunk by me. Royal Sovereign was sunk by me. Valiant sunk by me. Warspite sunk by Japan.
Speaking of casualties, you know what I've seen a little bit of is people asking for Rob Strader to do the casualties and stuff.
We don't control him personally.
We don't. I mean, I will be, you know, honest, and I was kind of like, oh, he's not going to do casualty list stuff because I thought it was kind of cool, that sort of thing. But of course, you know, his time is limited. You know, he is only man. A person. He is only man.
He's a person with a family and things to do.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a number of people who are like, you want to do the things, Trader?
Battle of Moscow is at 45.
Oh man.
And I'm only engaged
and gaining
two
or
flanks. Yeah, and gaining. I'm only engaged on
only
two
flanks.
I'm only engaged on 2 flanks.
Just snubbing your nose at the Soviet Union. I've only got 2 flanks.
I can do more, but I don't want
to. I don't need to.
I'm just in a lot of these areas. I'm just marching through Soviet territory unopposed.
And you, HQ, get to go ahead and sit in that province over there. Well, everyone else spreads out everywhere else.
Yeah, I've got a couple motorized divisions that are just like, okay, fuck this shit. I don't know if you could see them, but they're just going. They were running.
Oh, they are just going. That's a Forrest Gump reference.
Yes, it was.
I just started running.
I'm old. I was running. This is a good movie.
I think it's on Netflix now, actually.
Is it?
I think so.
Penny's whining. I played with you all morning.
There's a bunch of stuff like to add Netflix, but they rotate stuff out because it's all like, it's kind of like a semi-rental agreement almost that they have going on with a lot of that.
It's usually, you know, like they'll make an agreement for like a year or two with a specific company to get, you know, like all of their shit, and then it'll expire and they'll go on to something else.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about starting to do some ports. You know, I just moved some bombers over. Convoy engaged. Let's see, who's here? I can't see who you are. But if I bomb you... Oh! The Royal Navy!
Where is
Hello.
it? Where is it?
I just saw them leave Plymouth. Near Cornwall.
They're underneath your submarines there. I think I see them.
Yeah. Well, let's patrol right here. See if we can catch them with our planer doodles. I saw at least I didn't see what the makeup of the fleet was, but there's at least a battleship in there. And in the meantime, I'm going to bomb Plymouth and see what they left in port. All right, bombing of Plymouth. Come on, one more tick. Let me see what you got. There is 1 light cruiser there. That seems harsh. I've got, you know, like, I have 4 full squadrons of tactical bombers. So, you know, I imagine that is like, you know, like 400 Hinkle 111s coming over to Plymouth, and it's just fucking 1 light cruiser, the Durham.
Take it. See, I've got several corps that are on their way over back to Western Italy, and I think we're just going to stage them for the invasion of Spain.
Go for it.
That's what we're going to do.
I've got 1 German infantry corps was put on the Spanish border, so everybody else is, you know, like, winning themselves glory in Mother Russia, and they're just like, it's time for a siesta.
So... Siesta is an afternoon nap, is what that is.
Yep.
For those that don't know.
Come on, haha! Battle of the North Celtic Shelf.
For those that have watched my streams, they'll know that my wife is of Latin descent. They'll know that. But she makes a lot of like racist jokes about herself a lot of the time. She will. And when we first met and stuff like this, like 10 years ago when we first
Megan's
met.
got a good sense of humor.
She does. When we first met and stuff like that, I wasn't really sure how to feel about that. I was just like,
can I join in or not?
Well, I mean, like you first meet somebody, it's just like, where you don't know where those lines are.
Where's
Stuff like
the
that.
line?
Yeah, it's like, where do I be? I mean, me being the white guy, you know, of German Irish to say, it's just like,
Can I say that? Can I say that?
I think I can say.
We engaged the Hood, the Barham, and the Hermes. So a battle cruiser, a battleship, and an aircraft.
Well, you
carrier.
know, the Hood should be sunk in the next year, I think.
Okay, Battle of the Celtic Shelf. Okay, we've engaged them again. The Hood is firing on the Hildebrand.
Hildebrand. Fight the delaying action. Fight the delaying action.
There's like 11 heavy cruisers firing on the Hood right now.
Jesus Christ. I wish I could see this battle. I really want to see the battle in full. Because you can see naval battles regardless of who you are.
HMS Hood has been sunk by the Admiral Shear.
Oh, very good. Not the Bismarck,
Excellent
unfortunately.
news.
Sehr gut, yeah.
We actually sank a destroyer and the Barham in that conflict as well.
Mm.
So that was the first engagement of the German the proper German surface fleet that had aircraft carriers in it. They sank the pride of the English fleet, the HMS Hood, the Barham, and the what's doodled, a destroyer. I thought there was another heavy in there, but there wasn't. All right, the Battle of Moscow goes well.
Na wund, mein Führer.
I'm actually attacking from like 4 sides now. It's 86% done.
So, excuse me. I was trying to talk, and then suddenly someone tried to kill me. Assassination attempt on El Duce. So we're in the 15th of September. When did we want to stop the advance? Like when does it turn to mud out here?
In vanilla, not very. The weather effects aren't very extreme in vanilla.
It's kind of more of a black ice thing.
The weather effects are very much a black ice thing. And black ice, if you try to advance in the winter, or what is the mud season called in Mother Russia? Rasputin or something like that? Not Rasputin.
You ask me these questions like I know the answers to a lot of these things.
I can't remember what it is. There's actually a name the Russians call the mud season. It starts with an R. But if you try to attack in the muddy season or in the winter, you're gonna fucking die. In this, it's not really that big of a deal. Unless you want to roleplay and make it a big deal. But, I mean, I think we can end this before the winter sets in earnest.
So, like, what, late November?
Yeah.
I should be able to get Stalingrad before then.
I would hope so.
I mean, I'm only, like, 3 provinces away.
Yeah, I mean, you're, like, right fucking there.
How goes Moscow's battle, anyway?
Almost done.
Well, you've surrounded it on another side.
90%. There is one Russian motorized division. Oh, no, I won.
Winner.
Battle of Moscow is mine now. All right, so they are 88 points. They are 88.6% capitulated.
Hmm.
After the fall of Moscow. And that's why I just sent, like, random troops, like, out to go get things.
This HQ needs to move up because it's going to be out of range, and it's not being out of range yet.
I mean,
schmucks.
I just gave up on, admin of my oob because it's just not possible.
It's not possible.
Well, if you're not, it's one thing if you have, when you have, organized battle plans and you're going to stop at a specific spot, but when it's just like this clusterfuck, there's no way to keep it settled.
This HQ unit also needs to move up here. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing an okay job. I mean, you'd probably have to go look at the footage to see if I'm actually doing a good job or not. Or the viewers at home can give me a scathing review on how bad my generalship is or not, I suppose. But I think we're doing a fairly good job keeping everybody in like range of everybody else and all that.
Stalingrad is technically the capital right now. It moved from Moscow to Stalingrad when shit went tits up.
You guys keep moving.
200 IC on upgrades.
Portugal, you want to trade with me, huh? No, I'm not giving you materials that I am going to obviously need. That doesn't sound like good business to me.
So one ship, the ship that the heavy cruiser that heavily engaged the hood was almost destroyed. It got down to about 20% health, but I mean, one damaged heavy cruiser for 2 sunk capital ships, I feel like that's a win.
Not like Hoi 4 where you have a damaged submarine sink 50 convoys.
Yeah. Well, you have a damaged submarine sink 20 destroyers, or 2 submarines sink 150 ships.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was something that happened. We were talking about that in chat in my Discord the other day, and I was like, well, what they did, those 2 ships fired 1 torpedo. The ships lined up in a nice orderly fashion, and they put 1 torpedo into each one. And then when they ran out of torpedoes, they fired their deck gun. And then when the gun ran out of ammo, they just started ramming them until the friction on the hulls just polished the submarine's nose smooth, and it was just glancing off. So then they just started cutting through the hull with, like a welding torch. And then eventually that ran out of, the gas that powers those things. So they just went into the ships and started disassembling them until their monkey wrenches broke.
God,
and then once that happened, they just started setting fires inside the ships and hoping that they would burn down. And then when they ran out of matches, they just asked the crews of the ships if they could bum one.
That is definitely worse than a lot of the Star Trek plot hole justifications I've heard.
Oh, like what?
Well, I mean, there's so many of them to talk about. Voyager is definitely
oh god,
one of those. The entirety of Enterprise is a good one too. The series Enterprise.
As much as I love Voyager, the writing in Voyager is almost as bad as the original series.
I did a podcast a few years back with a friend of mine, which is a Star Trek podcast that we did, which I did for like 2 years with him, and then he carried on with it with some other people. But one of the statements I firmly recall him making, and he's kind of a pretty left-leaning, feminist kind of guy, and he's very specifically, I remember him saying, was that the Voyager, and specifically Janeway, set back women's rights by 7 years. It was one of the comments I recall him making about it. I have it saved on my computer somewhere because that's all kind of like resume material now at this point.
Because of a lot of her terrible decision making.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's not Kate Mulgrew, which I actually heard this at one point. Some were like, oh, Kate Mulgrew is such a terrible actor because of Janeway. It's like, well, no, she's actually a good actor as the writers that were having a problem.
She was a very good actress. It's just that, she had to work with what was given to her.
Yeah, it's not her fault that the writing was bad.
It's personally Kate Mulgrew's fault that the writing in Voyager was subpar. There's a couple, I don't know why, but there's a couple. Like every once in a while, there's a line that just sticks out in my head is just like the most absurd, shit. It's like, how did somebody write that and nobody corrected it? And I remember there's this one point where like they can't like space is dark for some reason. Who knew? And like Tuvok,
like where all the stars are missing or something.
Yeah, Tuvok and Kim are on the bridge like alone or something like that. And Tuvok does his normal, I'm going to reconfigure the configuratron to emit a polyluminous blast. Okay, I'm going to fire a torpedo and it's going to make light. He specifically says, I'm going to, reconfigure the bloop and it's going to make a polyluminous blast. Luminous just means it's going to be light, and poly means it's going to be multiple light. So there's going to be light. And Kim goes, like a warp flare. And Tuvok goes, exactly. And I'm sitting there going, what does that have to do with warp? It's It's a very specific set of like canon technology, and using the word light to mean warp doesn't make any sense. And I'm just like, yes, I know it's sci-fi. Yes, I know this stuff's all made up, but you've established yourself canon for decades now, and it's just like someone who had had never watched Star Trek before was like just putting in like that sounds like something I would say from Star Trek.
You know,
like,
I actually have the answer to this, but I'm not going to worry about giving it.
Oh, you're gonna get into some. You're gonna trek.
It would totally it would totally be the antithesis of the original comment I made about being worse than some nerd fights and all that stuff. So I'm just not even gonna. I'm just gonna let it be.
Oh, now I'm interested. But we are out of time.
I've got answers to this. I am a Trek fiend. You have no idea.
If there's any and yeah, we're definitely out of time because now Penny's like, you know what? I'm gonna get in on this.
I heard Star Trek.
Oh, there's a dog in my lap. Oh, 50-pound dog in my lap. Okay, everybody, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and comment. Me and Bob do read those. Subscribe for more. You can check out the Italian perspective on Bob's channel, the German perspective on my channel. Links are in the description below, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you later.